Here are the four people: Jung, Ippei, Akiko, Yachi. The first two graphics that we have here are summaries of structures that the people use when talking about themselves in a life history format. So this comes from the data, but they are structures that you probably recognize. I mean, you would expect people talking about themselves to make place distinctions, especially if they are people who came over to a different country. That would probably be a big part of the life story, right? So they had ways of talking about that movement from their country of birth to the United States, and those ways included taking some kind of orientation towards their home culture and the culture they moved into. So there's three modes that came up like that. Also, the move either was described as either resulting in planned changes or unplanned changes. Okay. Now, modes of second negation: by being a critic of both cultures and by claiming yourself as the director of your own life, you are claiming yourself beyond a particular identity. Especially in the case of that director of your own life, some of the participants would say, I used to be really shy, so I deliberately chose to go to this training course because I knew it would force me to change what I am as a person. So that's claiming themselves beyond the personality. And then we had the idea of self-realizing. Some people describe their experiences as a process of growing, of actualizing more of their potentiality. And that again references a sense of self that's beyond how the self is manifested at a particular time. Okay. So place distinctions, then there's time distinctions. I won't go over all of the aspects of the structures. Okay, but these are the two main things that came up with respect to time. Times within life history being contrasted with each other. I used to be like this, now I'm like this. Or things used to be really good, now things are really negative, talking about the environment rather than the self. The time of interview is often contrasted with times in the life history. And here are some of the ways the second negation was indicated: laughing at self, sighing while talking to oneself to communicate to other. That's an interesting form. If someone's talking to you and they tell you something like, yeah, I didn't go to graduate school right away. And that wasn't very smart, Phil, was it? Not going to graduate school right away. And they're kind of doing a little performance for you, you know. That's a way of doing a second negation. That's kind of cool. Acting out thoughts from past, from first person present. Vision metaphors. I see myself, I look at myself. Okay. Modifying identity claim just made with new words. Okay. Then we have identity nesting, and that's where you find people doing things like talking about themselves, say, as a teacher, but subordinating that to what they are as a person in general. So that's like a nested identity structure. And you also have contrast identity structures. You have, this was really the real me, but I was trying to be this. Okay. in any kind of research you're doing, assume that the people you're working with have their own implicit theory of society, their own implicit theory of psychology, their own implicit ideas about what a human being is and what human beings are capable of, and things like that. Their own idea about what a social order is, whether it's natural to have differences in wealth or not natural. Things like that. And then if you are aware that people do, you can reconstruct their implicit social and psychological theories as part of your data analysis. And a lot of times that'll give you clues about a lot of things, including ideological beliefs that people have.